Mr. Haynes had seen the tired old lady being lowered from the crane into the vat of custard, but he'd been too polite to interfere. So all he did was pull his egg out, and it said, "Get thee hence, Haynes. Have no truck with yon descending lady in the fluids. It's her own fate, her own fault. You're here to do something else." But what? It was too late. His head had been removed, and deep inside his torso he heard a little reverberating voice saying, "You're watching 120 minutes into the future."
Wild, wacky stuff. Robyn Hitchcock is in my house, and in just 10 minutes' time we'll have us a nice sit-down chat, so do stay tuned. Welcome back to 120 Minutes, and welcome back to Robyn Hitchcock, #1 on the alternative album charts with Perspex Island.
Yeah, but that was, what, 7 or 8 days ago? I mean, now we're in the future.
It's a fair bet it's going to stay there for a while, like most of your records do.
Dave, it's the end of the world as we know it, and...
So you might only get a 2-week run this time.
Time speeds up as it finishes, you know? It's like the very end of the reel, things whirl when the string's unravelling or whatever. The faster it goes, the faster the yo-yo drops, the severed head into the basket, the last words of King Charles I. "Bless me, Father, for I am sand," because he couldn't read the auto cue. It should have been "I have sinned." See? God knows what they're really saying in Russia.
What does Perspex Island mean? Do Americans know what Perspex is? I think they call it plexiglass here.
Yeah, I haven't asked every individual American, but they said, the ones I called upon said, "It's plexiglass, mate." And so it is. Transparent. Perspex to you and me, Dave. Take 2. Transparent stuff with little totems in it. Seahorses. Seahorses, trolls, and trilobites. Things you open a bottle with sometimes. Paperweights.
Funny you mention seahorses, trolls, and trilobites, because there's actually less of that kind of imagery on this record than some of your past ones.
That's because I'm totally coherent. You know, I mean, don't forget we're obsolete. This is just a projection from 8 days ago. So obviously...
Shh, don't tell them.
Sorry. Take 3. Yes, I'm totally coherent. I went into whatever it is, one of those places that you go to get rid of word abuse, and I had my words cut down. I was taken down to 10 words a day, basic, simple communication skills. Hello, Dave, orange, and so on, simple communication things. So I try and make things as straightforward as I can. But, you know, there's a lot of foliage around, and who knows what's in the foliage.
There is a lot of foliage around.
There's a lot of undergrowth, man.
Let's take a look at the first video from the album, So You Think You're in Love, which seems to be just a nice, pleasant little love song at first.
It is. It is, and it still is even later. It's just when people start interpreting it.
That's when the trouble starts. Okay, so let's just watch the video. So You Think You're in Love from Robyn Hitchcock. So You Think You're in Love from Robyn Hitchcock. An interesting concept video. Can you tell us about some of the imagery in this one?
And the Egyptians. It's got all these dots that this man Claude discovered. He found out he could make things look like a very old piece of newspaper for a relatively low cost. And that's why all these people are wandering around covered in dots. Originally they were going to be very bright colours, but it's toned down a bit. And that's the first time Andy and Morris and I have all been on the same video with instruments. So that's a traditional rock video with instruments. That's now we've done it, now we'll do something else, really.
Now, your new album, Perspex Island, of course, features the Egyptians, Morris and Andy, and there's also an appearance by Peter Buck and Michael Stipe of R.E.M. I want to ask you more about that in the second 60 of 120 Minutes. Into the... Welcome back. My special guest on 120 Minutes tonight is Robyn Hitchcock, who's been making records since 1977.
Yeah, I have. But that's an awful loop.
An awful loop?
Yeah, because now you've said 1977, what's my key to reply?
I wanted to leave it wide open for you.
Oh, right, okay. Take 3. Yes, it was 1977 and we made our first record. Just me and Andy and Morris and a man named Wangbo. But Wangbo was ousted in a coup or putsch in late 1977. And we've had various people in there as well. Kimberly Rue was in there for a while and Matthew Seligman. And Wangbo became a lawyer. But I mean, all it means is that we've recycled ourselves, really. We've been together a very long time.
Right, because Andy and Morris, who were the Soft Boys, are now the Egyptians.
Yeah, there were some other Egyptians as well when the Egyptians got going. There was my old friend Fletcher and Roger Jackson, but they both kind of fell off. So the only ones we've got left, the only ones left is Andy and Morris and I, which is the nuclear group. But Peter Butt plays with us fairly regularly. He's kind of, because he isn't in the band, he can survive, you know.
But he contributes guitar and mandolin to quite a few tracks on the new album, Perspex Island.
He comes and goes. I mean, he's on it, yeah. He's on most of it. Statistically, he's going to be on more tracks in the next album than I will be, for sure. And Michael Stipe's on half a song, you know. But he's on another song which is coming out at Christmas, called Christmas with Joy and Death for the Totally Happy. And he's on that, singing a song called Dark Green Energy with me. So it's all great.
So that takes us up till Christmas. Do you have any tour plans?
Yes, apparently in January we're going out on the road. Well, we're touring, but I don't know, you know, we'll just be around. Presumably we'll be around.
Okay. Well, we hope you will be around on tour with the Egyptians. And right now, here's a video from the last album. This is Madonna of the Wasps. Robyn, thanks a lot for coming by.
Thank you, Dave.